I never thought I'd be the kind of man who'd spy on his own wife. But then again, I never thought she'd give me a reason to. Her name's Madison. We'd been married for 6 years, and somewhere along the way, she stopped looking at me the way she used to. It wasn't sudden, more like a slow fade, like watching the light dim in a room where you once felt safe. It began small. More nights out with her friends. More phone calls she took in another room. Laughter that didn't sound the same when I walked in. I tried to brush it off, told myself she deserved space, her own time, her own world. But when she started dressing up for girls' nights that never showed up on her Instagram, I knew something wasn't right. Last Friday, she said she was going to a small gathering at her friend Chloe's house. I offered to drop her off. She froze for half a second before forcing a smile. "No, babe. It's fine. We're just going to hang out. You'd be bored." She left wearing a black dress I'd never seen before. My stomach turned. That's when I did something I'd never done before. I followed her. She drove across town, not to Chloe's, but to a place I didn't recognize. A rented house on the edge of the city. Music pulsed through the walls. Cars lined the driveway. I parked a few blocks away and waited. 10 minutes later, she stepped out of the car, fixing her hair, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. A man met her at the door, hugged her like it wasn't the first time. I sat there numb, like my chest had been hollowed out. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I drove home in silence, each thought colder than the last. That's when an idea formed, not out of revenge, but something deeper. Something final. When she left that night, she took my spare key. I still had the smart lock app on my phone, the one linked to our home system. She'd never turned off location sharing. So, when Hurt appeared at that same address an hour later, I watched. I waited. Midnight passed. Then 1. She still wasn't home. At 2:07 a.m., my phone buzzed. "On my way," she texted. No apology. No explanation. I didn't reply. I got up, went to the front door, and locked it manually. Then I opened the app and disabled her key access. At 2:41, headlights flashed outside. I stood by the window as she walked up, heels clicking against the driveway, fumbling with her phone. I watched her enter the code 3 times, the red light blinking each time. She tried her key. Nothing. Then she knocked. "Evan. Babe, can you open the door?" I said nothing. She knocked again, louder this time. "Evan, please. My phone's dying." The wind picked up. I could see the cold creeping into her face. Her makeup was smudged. Her hair tangled. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then my phone buzzed again, a notification. A photo sent to her from an unknown number. Her and that same man, laughing under string lights, his arm around her waist. I waited for the next sound. It came, a muffled sob through the door. Then a trembling voice. Her mother's. "Madison, where are you? Your sister's in the hospital. She had a seizure. They don't know if she'll make it through the night." I could hear every word. Madison froze. Her phone slipped from her hand, clattering to the porch. For the first time in months, she didn't look like a stranger. She looked like the woman I married. Terrified, broken, real. Her voice cracked. "Mom, I can't get inside. Please tell her I'm coming." She tried the door again, desperate now. My thumb hovered over the unlock button. I didn't press it. She sank to her knees, whispering my name through tears I couldn't bring myself to answer. She stayed there for nearly 10 minutes, kneeling, crying, calling out to me. I stood in the hallway, my hand against the wall, every sound echoing inside my chest. I could have ended it right then. I could have opened the door, held her, said we'd deal with it later. But the truth was, I didn't know who I'd be holding anymore. When her sobs turned to silence, I stepped closer. Through the peephole, I saw her sitting on the porch steps, head buried in her arms. Her phone lit up one more time. A text from that same number. "You okay?" Didn't mean to cause trouble. She read it, then typed something back. I couldn't see the words, but her face said it all. Shame, regret, the kind that comes too late. At 3:12, she stood, walked to her car, and drove off. I didn't sleep. I just sat on the couch, watching shadows shift as dawn crept in. By morning, my phone rang. Her mother. Evan, thank you for taking Madison to the hospital so quickly last night. She said you were on your way. I froze. Yeah, I said quietly. The lie slipped out before I could stop it. How's her sister? She's stable now, her mother said, voice trembling with relief. Madison said you were a rock. I don't know what she'd do without you. I hung up before she could say more. At noon, Madison came home. Eyes swollen, clothes wrinkled, voice quiet. I went straight to the hospital, she said, standing in the doorway like she wasn't sure she could come in. I know, I replied. She stepped closer. Evan, I'm sorry. About last night, about everything. I don't know what I was doing. I raised my hand. You don't have to explain. I saw enough. Her eyes widened. She knew what I meant. The silence that followed was heavy, like the air itself was listening. I didn't sleep with him, she whispered. It wasn't like that. I just needed to feel something. Something that wasn't me. I finished. She looked down, no denial, no excuses, just quiet guilt. I walked past her and opened the door wide. You can come in. It's still your home for now. She stepped inside slowly, like the floor might break beneath her. Every step echoed with the weight of something ending. We didn't speak for hours. Only the hum of the fridge filled the silence. Around 5 p.m., she finally said, when you locked me out last night, it broke something in me. Not because you were cruel, but because I realized I'd already been locked out of your heart long before that. I looked at her, and for the first time, she didn't look like the woman who betrayed me. She looked like someone who finally understood what she'd lost. You broke something in me too, I said. But the difference is, I can live with it. That night, she slept in the guest room. In the morning, she was gone. A note on the counter read, You don't owe me forgiveness. Thank you for reminding me what I destroyed. I stood there for a long time, the paper trembling in my hand. I should have felt angry or relieved or something final, but I didn't. I just felt empty. And in that emptiness, peace. 2 weeks later, a package arrived. No return address. Inside was the spare key she'd taken, tied to a small card that read, I'm getting help. Maybe someday I'll earn back the right to knock. I set the key on the table, stared at it for a moment, then walked to the door. The same one she once begged me to open, the same one I refused to unlock. I turned the deadbolt, not for her, but for myself. For the first time in months, the house didn't feel like a cage. It felt like mine again. And when I stepped outside, the air didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt like the start of something I'd almost forgotten, freedom.